what is material design? Why should we care about it? I mean, is that enough for you to kind of go on, or you want me to ask something more specific?
I mean, sure. Hopefully, hopefully some of these things become obvious as you're working with them. But material design is a design system, so that's a way to standardize uh, user interface and user experience, so that there are predictable experiences between different products. Um, you know, I kind of think of it as a good design system can take input of the functionality and data that you have, and then outputs really an app so that you can then go out and really build a proper experience. As opposed to a design language, which is less comprehensive than a design system and often has to do with just the style part. Um, so there are several, famous design systems out there. There's ours, there's Fluent, there's Ant, and then of course it's very hip these days for large organizations to build their own, to define their own. Airbnb has a really, really great one, and a lot of it, I believe, is open sourced. At least the guidelines are available externally. Uh, and so in material is Google's, and it came out of a need for, I don't know if anybody remembers what Google design was like in 2013,
It was
but
famous.
it was all over the place.
Yeah.
It was very inconsistent. I remember being a user, but it was before I joined Google, and then seeing what happened after Material was launched is they all started looking um, kind of predictable between them. Buttons all looked like buttons, app bars all looked like app bars, and in a way that everybody agreed was good or better and very usable. And then the great thing is that as we do more research and as we evolve design based on feedback and the need to refresh and kind of, everything visual has a bit of fashion in it. So as fashion changes, we update our design system, and then it gets propagated out throughout Google products. But of course, the greatest thing I think that Material Design did was open source themselves from the very start. At material.io, we've had the guidelines available for many years now, so that people in third parties like yourselves and your listeners can read it and adopt it in their apps. Um, and I think that what you get more than anything from that, if you're an independent developer, is some sort of comfort knowing that people are going to understand how to use your app. I think people take it for granted now because design systems have become so popular and used, but it really used to be the Wild West where interfaces were all over the place, and especially at we're still reaching new markets where people aren't used to touch screens, and they're figuring out, like, if my fingers do something on the screen, what happens? If you have patterns that end up being repeatable, then people are more likely to use your product the way you want them to. We have research that shows that our text fields that we redesigned to have an outline on them that makes people understand where they're supposed to click means that they're more likely to use them, and there's like literally more completion of checkout forms and credit card forms. Like there's a business um, benefit to using this design system. I could just go on and on, but see, hopefully that's is that to explain that all? Is there anything else I should go into on that?
I mean, feel free to keep talking, right? So if I have to talk, that
Oh,
means
oh, I
that,
don't hear
I'm
you. Oh,
talking
I'm
too
sorry.
much, I
I
think.
I went to hit I do not disturb is what I meant to hit, and I totally hit mute instead. There we go. I hear you now.
Sure.
Technology, right? I mean, boy, look, my computer doesn't has new UI, and I have to learn how to use it. Um, so this is a common experience that everybody has. I think we see it. A lot of us say that we see it through our parents. We watch them see a change in UI and then have to learn things. So when you can standardize things and repeat them across different products, including ones out in the world, I mean, uh, Android was really the Wild West also before Material Design came along and became the standard design system for Android apps. Um, now people understand how to use experiences for the most part just as soon as they open them. It makes things more intuitive because people are trained in a way to understand what's clickable and what's not.